There it is. What you drinking, Pete?
We got the gunpowder Irish gin. I'm keeping it very blue. Got the whole, I always buy Christmas gift sets for the glasses, so I'm keeping it real thematic today.
There you go.
That's kind of cool.
Trap,
that's all right.
That's good.
Locked in the location for the music video, so I'm feeling pristine this morning.
Nice.
You gonna publicize that, or we don't want too many hangers on showing up?
No. We you know what? Yeah, we could publicize it to the people. It's what makes this unique is so I got with my homeboy Cheese. Cheese is, wants to be a producer. That's like a big thing, like a film producer. And so me and Cheese is producing it together. And my videos are always like these intricate kind of like I always put a lot into a music video. Like I always make sure it's something going on. Like I don't really got videos where I'm just out there rapping. Now maybe that's somebody else's, but I really don't do that type of video. Like it doesn't fit, me being a storyteller. So trying to schedule this one correctly because it's such a posse cut, you know what I mean? And there's more people on the song. And then you need a lot of extras. You need a lot of extras to make it work. So I have to kind of like be really good with time. Even some of the pre-rollout content, you feel me? Like I need it that day with one specific part of this film studio. You know what I'm saying? So I needed to stay on top of that. And that's the point. When you know what to do, right? It's a lot. It's overwhelming. So you have to really delegate it. And as you organize it, everybody, they don't know. Everybody, you would like people to help, but you realize why you have to be a little bit more hands-on with it to see the vision all the way through. If that makes sense. It's just, it's intense, bro. It's intense. And then you could do all of this shit, right, Pete? And a motherfucker won't even see the video.
Oh, yeah.
Also true.
That's the crazy part. Like,
so
for Canceled, I did some really dope videos and people just didn't see them.
I remember the one you did with Baby Bash and didn't show that one.
Oh, that was the worst part. Like, no, not I didn't put them out. I'm talking about people didn't see them once I put them out.
Oh, okay.
I'm not even talking about
the ones you
didn't put out. Can't put out that just ain't good enough. Like one of the LA Giants songs was like that. I got 4 videos in the can that I never put out.
Oh, okay.
Because they just wasn't good enough.
But you talk about ones you put out that just wasn't good enough.
No, they were good enough, but people just didn't see them.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like you have to mark them. Yeah. Like Tora was dope. Some bitches was dope. Like I had some dope ideas, and people just don't see them. So you could put this much into art, and people just won't see it. So it's interesting to say the least. No Ceilings Live, the lunch hour, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here at noon Pacific Standard Time. On Digital Soapbox. Click the thumbs up button. Like this video right here on YouTube. If you're on Twitter, share, retweet it. You know what I mean? Tell a friend to tell a friend. If you're on Facebook, like the post, share it. We do this stream to support the No Ceilings podcast, which is released every Tuesday. We did a great conversation that's dropping tomorrow that kind of goes into how everybody in the industry is some level of a storyteller. You know what I mean? It was really good. Me, King, and Pete. It releases in the morning on iHeart Podcast or Apple Podcast or anywhere you get your podcast from. It don't matter which one. The No Ceilings Podcast, executive produced by Charlemagne the God, the Black Effect Network, and iHeart. So, like putting all this together is like you it's like a brainchild. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like you going over the top, and you have to make people see it. Now, what good is being dope if only 2 people know? That's kind of why, like, I don't agree with Kanye West and the stuff he's doing, but I get why.
Mm-hmm.
If this is the type of tantrum he had to throw in his mind to make sure everybody see his art, that's my problem, Trap. I know why he's doing it. Now, my issue is when it leaves the space of genuineness or things done in good faith. This is not done in good faith. Like,
you don't think
still
so?
gotta no, because he know damn well the Nazis and what's happening in the ghetto streets of America is completely different. So to even reference them to cater to that kind of boule type of black audience or to white people who already feel like black people making excuses for why shit is fucked up for them in America is raggedy. That's my problem. Like, and my brother asked me, he's like, man, why do you want to fight Kanye? And I'm like, because he's one of my favorite people, and I know he's misleading people. Like, the one thing I expect out of my top 5, barring Ross.
Why barring Ross?
Because Ross shit is built on a fantasy.
Okay.
Like, it is built on a level of street urban culture, like people that's hustling in a certain way that come from these ghettos, but it's also more of a fantasy land. But Snoop, Jay, Face, especially Face, you know, and Ye, I expect nothing but things done in good faith.
Okay.
Because nothing says good faith like Kanye West.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I know he knows there's a difference. Or maybe he don't, which goes into the conversation I've been having with Trap, where I don't quite think he's as street urban culture as we would like to believe. I think because he said Chicago, we automatically, oh yeah, he got to be from street urban culture. Nigga, that's a black man from Chicago. And it's like, I think that part of it could also be maybe overinterpolated. You know what I'm saying? I think we're giving him a little bit too much credit. Sometimes it's hard. Like, me and Trap used to talk about this. Trap think I'm crazy, but I think like parents like Trap in them age, Lex in them age, you know, this generation of parents, my generation of parents, like where I would be if I had a kid, they raised their kids completely different than we were raised.
True.
That a lot of kids, like Still kids, you know, shout out to my big brother Still, they don't really understand. They don't really understand blackness the way we do. Now, they're black, and obviously you get that, but like they don't quite get it the way we get it. You know what I mean? Like they really don't think it's really this racist world.
Like the struggles we went through versus what they
like not completely voided of it. Like we knew it. Like we knew, like we wasn't that far disconnected. We knew it. Like, man, these motherfuckers, they more like, yeah, I got equal opportunity. I was telling Squish this. I was telling him, my fear is poverty is disappearing because people don't really believe they're being oppressed.
I think a conversational pivot has happened in wealth distribution conversations in general, where people went from complaining about the fact that they were poor to complaining about the fact that another guy is rich. I think that's a pretty significant shift in tone.
Yeah.
Good be. It's understood.
I just, Pete brought this topic up, right? Like, can there be pride without shame? And it was such a unique, you know, conversation. And it's like, that's like Kanye, you know what I mean? That it made me think of him, right? Like, is he ashamed of himself right now? Like, I think I think he's smart enough to know completely, right, that okay, if let's say he knows. Let's say he knows, right? Let's say he knows. Does he know he's misleading people by trying to compare what's going on in the streets when it comes to crime and street urban culture, that lifestyle with what the Nazis did? Like, does he really? I cannot believe he doesn't know that they're completely different. Like, I think he has to know that these are two people fighting, and you listen to people talking about fighting each other versus what specifically happened with the Nazis. You know what I mean? In Jewish people, like he has to know.
I think he's more so on it to a level of them just profiting off of hip hop culture. You know what I'm saying? It don't even have to be the black.
No.
Now I think that's what it is.
You can't make something up, Trap. What you think he's trying to? He's saying what
you mean? It don't say. You think?
Saying what it is.
Well, hold on.
He's saying it's that.
I was gonna say, like, to Trap's defense, he's kind of gone in two directions on that topic, because there has been a lot of Jewish corporate, C-suite discussions, and also that, so there's this Jewish thing going on, but then there's also simultaneously this parallel between like racially defined violence and it just being the fact that there's a difference between local and racially defined. But there are two dimensions.
They're not even remotely close.
I don't think they're close. I'm saying he's just said both of those things.
He said both of them.
But that's not what he's saying. Like, shout out to Fats, Derek, Exclusive, Lex, what up, Brails, Six, Squish, thank you for moderating. Tree, what's the deal? No cut, what's happening? Black T.
Yeah, I don't think this current Nazi thing that he's doing now is a continuation of his Jewish corporate boardroom ownership thing from like last year or whatever. I think those are
he's doing that right now, Pete. He's tweeting it right now. He specifically said Jewish people are profiting from black pain. So why is he mad that he's wearing black pain? It's like, nigga, that is not remotely close to the same thing. That's not even remotely close.
That's why I'm saying it's to the point of him saying like they're profiting off of black pain, and which is the music.
So he would rather that he profit off of black pain, is what he's saying.
No, he don't really
put it back in their hand.
Trap don't have a point. Neither does Kanye.
I'm telling you, that's what he's saying right there.
That's not what he's saying. I'm listening to what he's saying. Trap, you hoping this is what he means because you don't want to consider that it's just selfish. They really don't have a bottom line or a point, and it's just really
if it's about them profiting off of, you know what I'm saying, people talking about killing each other and shit like that, though. The Jewish people, that
ain't equivalent to what happened with Nazis and Jewish people.
It's not though. It's not at all. Not at all. It's not a comparison.
So the fact that he's comparing it is the disingenuous.
Did he compare it? Did he compare it?
Yes. He's using them in the same reference paragraph multiple times. And then obviously he's catering to a bunch of black people, like a version of boule people or people who just don't know what else to do. So like Sherry, where they're just looking to, they're already mad. They already feel like, oh, this is ignorant, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I cannot believe Kanye has no complete idea that these are two different things.
I think you don't give him enough credit.
This ain't even like Israel versus Hamas or nothing. Like, this is different.
I wait for both people, man.
So this morning I was talking to Deuce Mac, right? And Deuce Mac was saying, like he was saying like there's a lot of rappers that are anti-street, right? Which they are anti people talking about how they had to come up or how they're surviving, right? Whatever crime that is, right? And he was saying that they have such a problem with that type of artist, right? But then again, they turn around and rap about the same things. They'll start rapping gun bars or violent bars, but they have no cognitive understanding of what that means. And he was saying it was a lot of rappers like that. And I thought about it. And even like a J. Cole, who I consider had one of the greatest 20 careers of all hip hop artists, right? He'll say some things, and I don't think he quite understands that came from something real. He'll reference murdering an MC, but he feel like, well, I'm doing it poetically. Nigga, that's not how it was intentionally created by the artist that decided to use that.
Sure.
And I was telling him, I remember when Certified first came out, and it was like big, man. Like I said, Certified was like 56 on the charts for some new Watch Crip rap nigga on a big Billboard Hot 100 charts, right? And I remember I had a line in there laughing at these rap niggas running from Suge. That was one of the lines, right? And I remember my intention when I wrote that is to run into Suge. Like, and I noticed I wrote everything I say with intentions to say it to the person that I'm talking to when I rap.
What were you going to say to
some,
Suge?
Huh?
What were you going to say to Suge?
No.
Why is everyone running from you?
That's actually, I did ask him that too. It's funny.
But didn't you do a whole song that was called something like
Suge?
Yeah, a whole song.
Yeah, but the point I'm saying is, to Pete's point, like, it's a bunch of people kind of. You see a lot of people on the internet talking crazy, and you could prove them in a lie, but because they don't have no shame, you know what I'm saying, it won't matter. Mm-hmm. And that's what I think it is with these MCs. Like, all these MCs who be anti-street, but then they start using things that were popularized in the streets, but they try to use them metaphorically or poetically, is weird. Like, I was telling somebody the other day, who was I talking to? I was talking to the homie Champ. And I was telling Champ, I was like, look, Champ, he was like, Glasses, you don't think, what was his term? He said, he was talking to me about gang. He said, that don't bother you that, you know, something that caused the lives of so many young men is now, you know, national, and people are just picking it up and they're doing anything. And I'm like, no, I don't see it like as this thing that's just people die. You know what I mean? I see it chilling with my homeboys. My homeboy teaching me how to fish, me trying to make money. Me, like, I see more of the glass half full than the glass half empty. And he was like, yeah, but you don't look at it, frown on it. I'm like, I said, no, that's what, you know, street urban culture is all about. That's what Black people do when they get a hold of some culture, especially at the poorest levels, right? They do that. And I was like, that's like if hip hop, like, imagine New York seeing me rapping and they like, man, look at this old West Coast nigga trying to rap. Nigga, you don't know. Like, I don't. He's like, well, that's different. You know, I'm like, that's not different. That, like, you thought hip hop belonged to all of us. No, that was New York nigga shit. And then we got our hands on it. I said, so what do I look like being upset that somebody's claiming Grape Street Watts in New Jersey? I'm more flattered. You know what I'm saying? So I told him that's what we do. I said, imagine if tacos stayed in Mexico, in just the poorest ghettos of Mexico, or if spaghetti stayed in the poorest ghettos of Italy. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. That's what poor people do. We share.
Culture spread.
We share. So,
random question.
Go ahead.
In the macro, because there's not data available to like research this. So just in your opinion, let's say like of like violent street crime, whatever, there's a certain amount that's priced in, and then you inject like intergenerational gangs on top of that. Like, that's what I was kind of saying, like on the pod yesterday, or maybe it was off the mic, I can't remember, how like you can be like 60's been there for 3-4 generations, but like certain little crews in Oakland or Miami, sort of, they come, they go, they're gone, then the new people come and show up. Do you think that having gangs like that, where you can inherit a beef, but you also have stability? So is it a net positive or a net negative in that, like, people will say like Saddam Hussein was like a brutal leader, but shit was stable. You take him out and it goes crazy. You know, so like, do you think relative to like what the priced in amount is that actually reduces or adds to in the macro like aggregate?
Shorten that up and give it to me. I'm sorry.
Do you think that having gangs that are perpetually there, you know, and that you come into a gang that's constant, some people go out, some people come in, but like the gang has its area, it's got its people, whatever. Do you think that it reduces more like power vacuum violence, so to speak, than it creates by virtue of people coming into existing conflicts?
Well, so that's one of those things that's overstated, right? People don't really come into existing conflicts the way you would think. You pretty much gonna have your own shit going on. You know what I mean? Like, shout out to the Black T. Much love, Black T. What up, John? P, Lex. Show, what up? Yeah, this show is dope. Dudes claiming Grape Street in New Jersey is extremely corny. Not really, bro. Okay, so like, this is gonna sound crazy because I understand the history of Grape Street, right? Versus y'all, where y'all like Grape Street. No, I understand when it first started is Watts Vadio Grape, right? If you go to most of the older dudes from Grape Street that's in their 60s and 70s, all of them got WVG tatted on them. Watch Video Grape, right? So that feels like it's Grape Street, but there's a layer and a difference of that particular group of men together, right? And then now they have ESK, right? East Side Kids, and they have other gangs there. These are the guys that's in their 50s and 60s, right? And then so now here they are doing a thing, blah, blah, blah. Grape Street forms right at the tail end of that. When you hear people say Grape Street, watch, right? And then after that, right, comes this really popular expression everybody heard, Baby Low Crip, right? That's guys that's in their 50s and 40s. ESK, East Side Kids. So 40s and 50s, right? Baby Low Crip. Everybody heard them niggas say on Baby Low. That's kind of a different but the same gang. So they're going to have unique problems than the guys from Watch Video Grape had, because they're a group of young men and poor people going around making their own legacy, trying to build their own name. So that situation looks different, right? Does that make sense? And then after that, right, you got the guys that's my generation, right? The guys that's in their 40s, late 30s, right? That's Peter Roll, Dutchtown. So if you ever heard somebody like a Grape Street nigga on Peter Roll or that's another gang right there that's kind of in the same umbrella as the Grape Street moniker. The point I'm saying is, it's not like one gang that goes and these same guys. Like the older guys won't have a problem with the bounty hunters. But this generation got a problem with the bounty hunters. You feel me? And then so it comes across like, here it is, all these guys beef. And it's not. If all these guys beef, the violence, the crime rate would be way higher. Does that make sense? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like, that's the same thing for Long Beach. Long Beach is different. Like if in the Insanes, you got the Insanes, that's Trey Denham age, right? Then you got the guys that's my age, right? The homie Clint, Syke. They youngs. I mean, they youngs, right? Fred is a young. I think Fred is from Youngs, yeah. Right? They're my age and younger. And then you got the generation like DW Flame, Sabi Third, babies. And they all kind of have their own ecosphere going. It's all kind of shit happening, what makes their movement unique outside of it. So I think where the concept believed is like, these are, the intergenerational beefs. There are certain Grape Streets that don't even meet A-Trays. I mean, there are certain 6-0s that don't even meet A-Trays.
Try to get that. I mean, that's probably the same thing if you were to analyze like Italian mafias and different families when they have a different leader, have different peace and conflict eras based off of the like trajectory that's a step. Like, I forget what family that one dude that Gotti killed,
Sure.
Big Joe, whatever, Big Paulie, whatever. Like, I'm sure like that 10-year period had its leadership structure and its agenda. He's gone. You have new leadership. There's a new agenda with new people involved. So they might have a different relationship with different people, different groups. So there's going to be different dynamics and different chemistry. I don't think it's probably any different in any other way.
Shout out to Diamondback for Title Free. I'm not knocking it, but it does feel odd to rep a set from a hood in another state. In Casa Grande, if I remember correctly, the Bloods were sourced from Swans, but none of them said they were from Swans. But okay, so imagine like you starting to rap and you don't call it hip hop, but you pretty much emulating hip hop. What's more of a weird move? The fact that you actually emulating what these guys are doing, and then to deny it came from them, or to accept it and then put your own spin on it. Like when I go to Grape Street in Jersey, again, like I just told you the history of Grape Street. They don't have to have a grape in Jersey, but there's a lot of Grape Street wasn't Grape Street at first.
How did that happen? Did a guy from Grape Street like move there, or did they just
somebody went to prison there?
Okay.
So it's like it's not about the street signs. You know what I mean? And this is the hardest part to understand. The pride that comes in this is about the people. It's not the sign. The sign, that's why I keep giving you different names, right? I keep telling you the same gang, and they're not subsets. They're actually weirdly, they're their own gangs. It's not like the United States of America where there's a federal tax. It's like that's why people fight each other within these situations. Like some are, but then some do their own thing. So don't get me wrong, like I can get the feel of a subset, but it's a little trickier. It's not about the street sign, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's not about the street sign. It's about the people, the camaraderie, to get down. The street sign don't matter. So you can get a Hoover in Houston, and like I've been with the Hoovers in Houston, and I respect they get down because really it's their friends and their family and their homies. They got their own beefs. It ain't like when Hoover went down there, oh, we don't like neighborhoods. They gonna have their own enemies. They gonna have a bunch of other guys that's fighting over the same resources that they fighting over, and that's gonna be the person they're competing with and having issues with, right? So it's not like, you know. Now I had a conversation with a homie from A-Tray in New York, and A-Tray is big in New York. Shout out to the homies out there, but they were trying to absorb the neighborhood beef. And I remember telling them, like, that's not really the thing to do. Like, you're going to have your own enemies. You in New York. Trust me, it's going to be some people that do not like you exist, and they want to compete for whatever you're trying to obtain. You're going to make your own beefs. Just like every generation of a game. My older homies, they clash the most with Palm Oaks. Every Palm Oak I ever met in my life has usually been the coolest motherfucker in the world. My younger homies, they had their thing with the Monas. The Monas was my guys. We cut our bones beefing with Carver Park. The Carver Parks and my homies are the closest. The younger homies is the closest people in the world. So it's not quite intergenerational, shit you absorb.
Is that because they only look at it like Crips only beef with Bloods? Is that part of the reason too?
No, it's just a nuance that
like Crips can't beef with Crips.
Just some of that
much deeper.
I'm talking about what the public see, the way the public views it. Because I know how it works myself. Sure. So I'm talking about the public viewing it that way.
Well, they don't have any information. That's the point of hip hop. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be the CNN of the ghetto. Mm-hmm. So like I broadcast detailed, nuanced understanding of what's happening in the ghetto. And that may not be the greatest thing. Like I'm a lot more Barbara Walters or whoever that specialist is than just the mainstream version of Don Lemon, that just kind of glances over the shit. Like I'm calling the game for real. Mm-hmm. This is the game. This ain't ESPN. I'm not Stephen A. Smith giving you the highlight, the dunks, or who's the people that do the highlights. Whoever do this ain't my raps ain't Sports Center. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Other people raps are Sports Center. Here go the slam dunk. A lot of niggas movies are Sports Center. Here's a slam dunk. Here's a 3-point from half court. Here's a steal. Remember they rap a 48-minute game in less than 60 seconds. Go ahead, Pete.
They have you're the 30 for 30. Here's what we're doing. 17 for 17. 70-minute deep research bio real life shorts. We don't have to be a 30-minute shit about 30 for 30. Fuck it, we're doing 17 for 17.
All right. but that's how my raps are anyway. Mm-hmm. Like my raps are not like the surface level, like not dissing nobody else, but I'm saying they have a surface level take. So that's why people think like gangs is about street signs or color. That's a surface level take. My shit is not, this ain't a film, this is a documentary. You know what I mean? I'm walking you really through the nuances of it. And I accept what it is as a responsibility. So
to bring up like as you would before, like because I think what you're kind of getting at is like different neighborhoods or different crews have like a different like cultures, like nuances of culture, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, like you said, South Side back in the day, South Side was really about getting their bread. Like that was kind of their thing. Mm-hmm. Versus, like, say you would discuss Denver's were like they were with the shit, like for real.
But I also don't want to conflate like the South Side. They was gangsters the whole time. They just had homies that was rich too. Same for Denver Lane. Okay. DL's had some like
sure.
to pay people, but Yes, I agree. You're right.
But like
the South was-
insofar as
the
like how
branding,
you
the branding of
pride
South
yourself
was,
in what
it
you're
was
about.
definitely rich people. They had rich homies.
Sure. So like if that's your culture within your neighborhood, that would be you take that somewhere else or whatever. You know, that might specifically embody more what you and your 10 people that fuck with you are about than just something broader or more generic. That's like, nah, we don't get down like them. This is what we're really about.
But that's gonna be, and that's what happens in every generation. It gets defined a little different. Shout out to Yato
I'm
D.
just saying
God.
insofar as why grape is over there. Some guy says this is what grape is to me and to us. I'm here now, so this is what we're about. If you fucking with me, this is how we do it.
I don't. Yes, but yes.
I mean, this is like how it sounds.
I've been to a 10 trade day in Newark, bro. It was more people at the 10 trade day in Newark than the one in Watts.
That I believe for sure.
I mean, and I knew that shit was real. They wasn't. Don't get me wrong. Like hip hop, they have some of the things that we identify, and they have some things, but they have a special way that they do it. That's what I respect. That's what I respect about the UGs and Flatbush. That's what I respect about the 180s in the Bronx. That's what I respect about the Brims and Staten Island. This is what I respect. The A-Trays and this is what I respect about them. They have their own way, and that's why they get my respect. You know what I mean? Now, if you start trying to emulate what some other brothers is doing, you trying to be them, then that's where you would lose. But nah, when I went to the 10 trade day in Newark and that projects, bro, them niggas was out there, and I could tell they had a flair that made me like see it like, oh, that's player. These niggas, it's East Coast cripping. It ain't really not like the gang East Coast, but like, nigga, tri-state cripping. These niggas really had their own flair, and I respected it. Like I was like, oh, this is player. I could fuck with these niggas. I mean, but I didn't look at it.
True with Harlem's?
Huh?
Is the inverse true with Harlem's? Like P Stones has a Chicago root, right?
Well,
LA ones.
Chicago.
The LA ones.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like as far as
because the boy came from rest in peace to the big homie T. Rogers. He came from Chicago and brought it here.
With some guys from Harlem,
and here's a perfect example. He made it fit. He made it fit Los Angeles. Like if he tried to raise that exact same version of Stones in LA, we don't have the atmosphere, the ecosystem to grow it. But because he catered it to fit this particular part of the earth, it ended up becoming one of the most powerful group of men in the history, you know, of street urban culture. Like they're a powerful group of people. Shout out to the Donna Streets. I was tweeting this. I was saying that shit. We've been going everywhere else. Donna Streets in Vegas is dope.
Yeah, you make that shit sound. You make that shit sound like the scriptures right there, B. For real, for real.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
Yeah. Shout out to John. Welcome to the lunch table, my guy. Oh, I seen you here. You be giving me shit. But Malone, don't you also take up artistic privilege by altering the story? Altering which story specifically? T. Rogers is one of the coolest people I ever met in the streets ever. Like a man of wisdom, you know what I mean? I'll never forget, we went and ate at the Roscoe's in Inglewood. Right? We met up, I was helping him with some film stuff, and I was helping him. And he always showed me love. His son, rest in peace to his son, was like, that was really my guy. Lucky was my guy. And we ate. And when I was waiting on him right now, T. Rogers know I'm a Crip from the East Side, whatever. But, you know, so I'm glasses, whatever. So we're in Inglewood, right? Blood Central in Inglewood, you know, in the center of it, especially is some of the most ruthless bloods in history. So we in there, I'm waiting on him. He comes sit down, and where my back is at, he like, ain't no door behind me. He said, now, young glasses, before we start this meeting, he said, it's on me. First off, I'm treating. He said, but if we need to get up out of here, you know, how are we getting up out of here? He was saying that there was no doors behind me or close. I said, yeah, I'm gonna go through this window.
Dude, I know for a fact.
Seen it, yeah.
Like Malcolm got all that shit from him. You ever like, you know, like how feng shui works with lighting?
Sure.
Malcolm will walk into a restaurant and have to sit. There's only 2-3 tables in the joint he'll actually sit down at for purposes of strategic movement. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, see, but
And seats at the table.
Yeah, I actually had to go through windows. I don't look for doors. I look through for windows. Table through window,
great.
out
He'd be
window.
like, that's drywall. We can go through that easy.
If it's drywall, well,
window.
Table
You
to
say
that window,
jump to
drop
the
this
window.
motherfucker. Yo, you don't look for the door. Oh, shout out to John. He said the narrative of the death row chain. So it's not a narrative, right? There's a thing that people believe happened and people that didn't believe happened. It's always been right up the middle for people. The person in actual question said it didn't happen. Trey said it didn't happen to him. He told me, like, man, that didn't even happen. They didn't get my chain. But everybody else said they got his chain. And that is the conversation of the story. So that's the point of it. To me, if no chain is took, right, then Tupac just looks like a gang member. I'm sorry, to catch y'all up with Tupac must die. So Trayvon from the mob, Trayvon Lane from the mob. We talked after, he felt some kind of way, like, man, Glasses, you telling this story, you made me look. I guess he felt like it wasn't flattering, you know what I mean? And he was like, man, they didn't even get my chain. But there's other homies from the mob that said it did. That's not important.
Wearing the chain when he told you that?
No. Yeah, there was no bounty on the chains. That was a lie too. That was never a real bounty. That again, the LA thing, Mark, is you don't really people snatch chains because that's just what you do when you in the fight. It's not really the bounty.
Who was supposed to be? No, I don't know. You said it was a bounty on the. No, you said it was was supposed to be a bounty on the chain.
This was the shit that people said Puff said, but nobody ever verified that to be true.
Ever really?
They would have been a target.
Okay.
They'd have been a different target. So nobody believed that. That's probably not true. But so he was saying that he felt that the conversation. But I'm like, okay, imagine if I tell that story and it was just a gang fight, and now Tupac roughs that man up. Tupac looks like a gangbanger. Like, it's already questions. It's like, I don't know if you really want to do it that way. Like, at this point, the reason that part of the story makes sense, John, is because it gives you the chance to see Tupac either as being a loyalist to somebody that he felt was a friend, or you can see him as somebody acting like he's from the mob and wanting to participate in street violence.
Just wanted to pop on some. They didn't want to. So they're trying to put.
I gave you an option, John. Like, you have an option now. You know what I mean? So I understood what Trey was mad for. You know what I mean? But again, it's like everybody told the story. They not gonna protect your legacy because I'm gonna have way more respect for you than everybody else because I know what you've been through. The rest of these people don't give two fucks about you. So,
that is a way to flip it though.
But I always say that all the time. It be certain people online. It's like Adam 22. Like, Adam 22 don't have no shame.
Yeah.
Like, how do you argue with somebody who, he don't even care if his old lady sleep with other men? You know what I'm saying? You can't. You can't. You know what I mean? Like,
that's crazy.
Shout out to John, but that's what I'm saying. You altered the narrative from what is probably true. No, I didn't offer the narrative because there's always been this conflict of what's true and what's not.
Probably is subjective in that particular case.
Yeah, there's the truth is questionable and probably is not realistic. It was always people who said it did and people who said it. Well, everybody else said it did. One person said it did.
And that one person, and say, I don't know the guy.
Yeah.
But like at all, just inherently, given the nature of how that all played out, has an incentive to say it didn't happen.
Sure. Shout out to Dog Walk Rehab. Sorry I'm late, guys. We can start now. Man, we was waiting on you before we started, my boy. For sure we was waiting on you.
He learned from King, so he's just following the rules.
That's what I tell. Exactly. That's what I tell the homies all the time. Like, I'm not really cut out to do what they do. Like, at the community, I'm like, the people you're arguing with don't have no shame. Like, all the people on the internet arguing, you can't have no shame. Like if I got my ass whooped and shit, I just wouldn't be showing up on the internet talking shit for sure. I'd be like, yeah, I ain't like these niggas to get beat up and be talking crazy the next day.
Aaron the plumber.
Yeah.
That shit was crazy.
I don't even know who that is.
Aaron the plumber.
Shout out
That's
to
a
Marcus
crazy
Smith.
man.
He said, Sherry is somewhere mad at this convo. Facts.
But that goes along with what you're saying. People talking shit and really don't want it.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I was listening to Myron from Fresh and Fit. I was reading his tweets, and it was just like, I was reading his tweets, and he was just going off and shit, and he was just like talking shit about black people. He was like, I don't like fucking with, niggas because, they get mad and they want to fight you. I'm like, what? You couldn't have been around black people. Like, that's not the story. But I think, again, it's a bunch of people who conflate with what they see is going on the internet. And he had no shame. Like, he's sitting his black ass up there on that video saying all that shit. Like, he don't have no shame. How your black ass sitting up there on that thing doing that? You can't have no shame. So that means you can't have no pride. You can't.
So if there's shame, there's no pride.
If there's no shame,
there is no shame, there's no pride. Like there can't be a yin without a yang, so to speak.
Okay.
Is that fair, Trap?
Yeah, for the most part, I get what you're saying.
Like, for example, women live in a universe without consequences. We can all agree on that, right? Okay. If there's no consequences, can there really be discipline? No. Because discipline is based on the idea that consequences exist.
So with no discipline, is there shame?
With no discipline.
Yeah, with no discipline, can there be shame?
There is, if shame and consequences exist.
Yeah, but see, within no pride, pride comes before the shame, though, like that. With them saying it, the discipline part of shame, I guess so. I guess you're speaking.
Those are like different spectrum lines, but they're parallel.
No,
because that goes back to the subject of Kanye. What he did was that a prideful thing he feel he did, for himself, that was shameful to everybody else, and he just don't recognize it.
No, so here's a perfect example, right? We use this term "bitch ass nigga" in the community, right? A lot of these terms we use, but I don't think we understand
language.
No, it's all good. I get people don't understand what these things. It means that as a male, you're acting like a woman, right? And acting like a woman could be a few things, right? One of the things is unaccountability, like, right, where you lack accountability. Like Kanye, so somebody would look at him right now and say he's acting like a blah, blah, blah. Because right now, like, if he's talking about his kids, he's like, none of y'all speaking up for me. And everybody is looking at him like, nigga, everybody told you don't mess with this lady. This lady is not, hip hop has a golden rule. It's been through and through since the 80s. This is a street urban rule. Do not turn a hoe into a housewife. So when you decided that you were not under the guise of these cultural standards, you're like, I'm better than that. I'm going to be the biggest pop artist in the world. I'm going to be Walt Disney. I'm going to be Ralph Lauren. You black. With black is going to be a level of pride that you just have in this country because it's really hard to come through it without it. Even for somebody who may, they have not experienced a bunch of oppression or lack of opportunities, you're going to notice it when you somewhere in just sheer like lack of other people you see that look like you in successful spaces. So when he's going off like, oh, nobody's saying nothing. Jay-Z not saying nothing. Jay-Z not saying nothing. It's like, bro, he told you. So now, and that's his whole ploy. I'm mad because y'all letting this happen to me. I can't see my kids. My these white women, bro. She wasn't a white woman when you was lusting for her. We was telling you she wasn't a sister then, and what could happen, and you So now you're upset. That's why people label him that.
It's really remarkable foresight that a family that's most famous because it had one of the most high-profile litigators in the country as its former patriarch, you thought, let me position myself to get into a legal battle with these people.
Right.
Fascinating.
You're right about that. That's a fact. You don't mess with that little thing over there.
Jesus Christ.
Shout out to 2005 Kanye. Shout out to No Cut. 2005 Kanye won. 2010 Kanye, but man was fully on. Can't tell me nothing more. Facts.
Yeah.
Shout out to John Fuentes. Big ups to Glasses, but back there you said if the attempt to steal the chain is the truth, the situation makes no sense for Pac to attack Lane. Well, honestly, John, it's a little bit more trickier than that. I actually think Pac was from the mob. That's what I think. Now, whether the chain, I wouldn't even put a lot of thought into if Trey's chain got took. That wasn't even the most important part to me, because the one thing that I am certain of is Pac was banging the mob, and that's the one thing that hasn't been verified. But that's the one thing that I'm certain of. So now the rest of the world, they're not as certain. They cannot believe how could Pac come from being a Panther type character to being a Blood. So they don't want that. So I can tell he was banging the mob. I could tell how he was going. I could look at things. I could listen to what he's saying, not just in raps, and feel like, oh yeah, he pressing the line. This nigga's really from the mob right now.
Both sides of his mouth like nobody in the history of the world.
You said who?
Yeah. Pac was into a lot of shit.
Like nobody in the history of the world.
Pac was into a lot of shit.
Pac was on his shit. You see me? Like, so
I get around and this says, keep your head up, baby. I know I knocked you up, but I'm out of here.
Man.
Pac was into a lot of shit.
Yeah. So again, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't. Now, if I give you my opinion of that, right, then that's different. I'm not trying to convince y'all. I'm not trying to convince nobody that Pac was banging them out. That's not even the story wasn't even, John wasn't about, the story wasn't about chains. The story wasn't even about Tupac. It was all about gang morality. How we understand if y'all jump on somebody, if you jump on somebody from somebody by themselves, if you treat them unfair, we understand morally, you probably gonna get some bullets. That was the point of Tupac Must Die. It was
it was more about the Crip side of it, not to make it from a colors or gang side.
Sure,
of it,
sure. From it was
like,
more or less the cultural, the LA street urban cultural part of that. The morality being one of the aspects of culture.
The view of the shooter, not anything else was really incidental. Because it doesn't matter. The fact that went on to that guy and he perceives it that way and he has to respond to it this way in order to restore what is important to him is the story. All the rest of the details are really neither
don't even matter. Facts. Yeah. Exactly, Pete. That's the point. Yeah.
It's almost like the street version of like that scene that you're not supposed to talk about in that movie that Edward James almost made that never was really made, when he got messed with and then stabbed the dude, which never happened and the scene was never filmed and we never saw it at the youth camp.
Shout out to Dog Walk Rehab. I think he felt like he had to be loyal to Suge for bailing him out. I don't think so, Dog Walk. I think Pac is really like a loyalist. Like, I think he didn't feel like it. He was like, yeah, I'm riding with y'all.
Yeah.
Like, and I think he liked being a part of a brand. I think he liked all that went on with the shit.
Bro, why would you not want to? Death Row at the time is the most powerful thing moving. It's the most respected thing moving and the most powerful thing moving. They come get you out of jail. He had wrote letters. Pac had wrote letters to different people. They was making calls to different labels. Like, just get us out. We'll give you 4 albums for this.
Mm-hmm.
People were like, nah, this motherfucker got a platinum album. Got a platinum album right then and there. They like, yeah, you on your own, my boy. Like, nigga, he had just made Interscope $20 million plus. And they just leaving him in jail. Know what I mean?
They just leaving me in jail like I'm Slick Rick. They treat me like I'm Slick Rick.
You feel me?
Remember he said that?
Think about that. Yeah. He just in
like
jail.
Slick Rick.
And then here comes Suge, who was probably at this point on the hip hop side of the production, not the record label, not the big label, but on the hip hop side, on the production side, the Puffs, the J Princes, the Drapers, he's the most powerful guy in the game, and he comes and gets you out. Man, I'm finna fuck a nigga over for you. I don't owe you nothing. I gave you the records, but now, nigga, I know you fuck with me. That's what I feel like I got from Pop. I got, y'all fuck with me. Like Trey embracing him, Trey bringing him around, you know what I mean? Trayvon Lane bringing him around and fucking with him, showing him the homies, they showing him love. And man, this shit is like that. How y'all think Wayne got down? People, this shit really will embrace you and you'll get a family that you never had, a group of men that you never had to show you love. You never had nothing like this before.
Well, real quick. Trayvon Lane? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yep.
So Lane was the name of 2 of the 3 pivotal characters involved in this?
Yes.
That's fucking impossible.
Man.
That's crazy. It's crazy. What a coincidence. That's crazy right there, man. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. Nah, so you feel like that's the first time he because he from Oakland though, right? You say he from Oakland, so he didn't get that type of love in Oakland or something. He came to Cali to.
So remember,
he in San Fran.
What he didn't live. He lived in this smaller town, right? This place where he went to high school at. Right. He lived in one of the offshoot cities of the Bay. But when he kind of started to get with Digital Underground, he moved to Oakland. But he's still a baby. You know, he's still 18, 19 years old. You know, not in gang years. Shout out to Cousin Dro. Yeah. He right. Marin City. That's what it's called. He lived in Marin City. So it's like, so remember, one of the main problems people say he ended up, now, I don't know if this is true, and I probably shouldn't say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. He got into it with some cats in the Bay Area, and they came to some picnic trying to hurt him, some park trying to hurt him and his people. That's part of the reason they said he came down to LA too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, he didn't really get him. Remember, he's in New York. All of the guys he ran with in New York, he kind of, it feels like he kind of blames them for what happened to him. Even though they were all the guys saying, don't deal with these people, don't play with these people. They were telling him like, hey, don't, you know what I mean? Like
at all.
Even when I talked to Haitian Jack and I asked him, I talked to Jimmy, like, I'm not the average rapper. Like, I'll ask people what I want to know. Man, this is 7th Street Crip. Nigga, I'm going to ask you because, nigga, I can. So I remember Jack telling me, like, gee, he just didn't understand certain things in the street. And he looked at me like it's my fault. It's like, nigga, we told you this bitch is a hoe. Same situation as Kanye. You know, he got with a girl and the girl was a little out there and he kind of fell in love and it went too far and he realized she was a hoe and now he's embarrassed. He had that pride that created that shame. And here we are in this whole other dilemma, right? And then he blames them. Even the shit with him and Jimmy Henchman, where Jimmy gave him money, you know what I mean? And he didn't want to give Jimmy back his money because he was mad at Jack because he caught the case over this girl that they told him was not the kind you settled down with. You know what I'm saying? And they told him that, and you know, he didn't give Jimmy, he blamed Jimmy because he met Jimmy through Jack, if I understand correctly. So again, it's like, you know, he blamed him. So he, again, think about all of what he could perceive as betrayal.
Yeah.
Think about what he can perceive as betrayal. He could feel like, you know, and then people try to say Stretch has something to do, even though everybody that's in the street said that's just not true.
Nah.
Right? Because it really wouldn't make sense. Even Jimmy said he didn't try to get him hurt. He just was like, give me my money back or I'm going to take this jury. I'm going to get something. So again, it's like, you know, Pac was in a really unique situation because while he was mad, he understood that a lot of it was by his own doing. But then he decided, and this is Puff, if there's one thing I could blame Puff for.
Yeah, Puff did it. Puff started it.
Blame anybody in the world I could blame Puff for it. Because nobody's above responsibility. Big got the video shoot fucked up. Puff specifically, right? Puff realized when he got shot that this was the perfect time to drop Who Shot You. Perfect time to drop.
What was the timing of that? I gotta look that up. I want to see what the timing of that was.
Right there.
Was it like
I was looking at the time when I was studying it. It was right there. And
yeah,
I know
it had to been right there.
No. Shout out to DT. Pac not here to defend himself with all due respect. You don't worry about Pac, DT. I'm your homeboy. One thing I'm not gonna do is let my homeboy start talking about some nigga you don't know. Whatever I got to say about cuz you don't got nothing to say about it, nigga. You my homeboy, nigga. You know me in real life, nigga. Fuck about no rapper. They don't never do that. I don't want my homeboys to ever don't get you. I'm not disrespecting the nigga, and I could have this conversation. That's the point of the No Ceilings platform in general. I'm not disrespecting him. It's not, I'm not attacking him. I'm telling you, based off of simple business things, these were his moves. No, I'm not speculating, Lex. I'm not. Some of this shit is a fact. Haitian Jack told me to my face. That's not a speculation. Jimmy Hinchman told me I'm not speculating.
Son, ain't speculating. It ain't debatable, B.
Yeah, I'm not telling you my opinion. I'm telling you what niggas told me. Now, what they did is different. I'm telling you what niggas told me. Again, so now here's the speculation. The speculation is Puff saw that opportunity as a time to launch this Biggie song. It worked. Pac felt some kind of way about them using, right, that as a moment to market this nigga's song. And he decided he was going to use everything to market his shit. That's my speculation.
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
Oh, this is what we doing? Oh, this is what we do. Oh, I got shot and y'all go market it. Okay, all bets is off. This is what we doing.
All the way
marketing,
with it.
We marketing with trauma. I'm gonna show you how to do it. That's my speculation. He didn't ever say that, but I believe genuinely what he did. He said, "Oh,
that's what he did.
Y'all gonna use me getting shot to market y'all song? Let me show you how to really do this."
Yeah.
I'm gonna make people feel like, because he's never in life said they had nothing to do with him getting shot. He's actually said the exact opposite. Man, y'all think I would be rapping if I thought them people had me shot? He has made it clear that they had nothing to do with him getting shot. He's made it clear out of his mouth. Right? Nothing to do with him getting shot. But he made people feel like it. Whatever energy he put out, and then niggas really felt like Puff and Big had something to do with him getting shot. And he used that shit and propelled himself into the top spot in all of hip hop. It was brilliant. One of the greatest marketing moves I've ever seen.
He pulled the reverse card on them niggas, man.
Uno.
That's what he did. He put the reverse card. Ha! There you go. You thought you had me, huh? You thought you had me, huh? You want to use my shit? Huh?
Reverse.
There you go. Reverse.
That was nice. It was one of the nicest.
That was crazy.
Marketing plan.
He was, but that was coming from sitting up in that jail. He said, "What the fuck?" He said he grew his hair back and all that shit, B. That nigga said, "I got these niggas, B. Watch what we gonna do." That's what he talked about, getting shot, everything. It was crazy after that.
Reverse. Hit him with all the. He just
stacked it on him too. That was crazy. The back jump. He did the back jump on him. He did the back jump on him. He did the back jump on the checkers.
Marketing, the marketing savant of that
was crazy.
Is insane.
And he like seen, like he's seen ahead of it. He's seen ahead of, like he's seen so far ahead of time.
Oh yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. I remember there was an interview he had, and he was like, "Yeah, we'll probably get together and make some records." You just talked about fucking this nigga wife. He's talking about killing his kids. Nigga, what?
We talking about Suge. Talking about Suge giving him that damn money, getting him out. Suge probably came there and visited him, B. And nigga probably told Suge the whole plan.
Oh God.
This what it is right here. This what it is. I got it. Yeah. This the whole layout.
This the layout.
This what's gonna happen. Suge said, "What? This is money." He said, "What? What? Get him out of here."
That nigga Pac handwrit his contract, nigga.
Bird on a napkin.
That shit is by hand, nigga.
On a napkin.
Like, oh, you with this? Perfect.
Yeah.
Playing in motion.
This is it. We going. I'm with it.
All right. All I need is a feature with
Snoop,
feature with Dre. The rest of this shit, I got it.
We're gonna run the whole play on these niggas. B. This is over. It's Pig. We're going with Pig and Buff right there. We're going just like that. Yeah, he went crazy.
This was a fucking marketing.
He had the videos and everything. Remember the video he did when the niggas in the shit? When he pulled it, he had all that shit visualized already, B.
He knew
he was gonna do.
That was the meanest 12 months in history.
Crazy.
Like that's that type of shit I'm talking about with Dot. That was another 12 months that we need to talk about. That 12 months from him dropping Me Against the World, being in jail, having a #1 album in jail, to fucking dying. Like that 12 months is savage.
Yeah. Crazy.
That's a mean 12. You come out, you like, oh, y'all niggas playing with my name. Y'all see I got shot. Y'all think that shit funny?
You know what I think about? You know, I think about this shit though. Look how young that nigga was doing that shit though, too, big.
Yeah.
He was 24 years old.
I'm 45 and it just came to me. This nigga was on this shit at 24.
24, B.
He was like,
crazy.
You niggas playing with me, nigga. Nigga. Oh,
came out of there going crazy.
Man, watch this.
That was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. He said consequences from Puff's marketing cloud chase.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was.
Oh, because y'all gotta remember, like Hit 'Em Up was already done before. I think Hit 'Em Up was supposed to be on All Eyes on Me. Back when it was called.
It came out before All Eyes on Me, right? Came out before All Eyes on Me. Right?
It came out 4 or 5 months after. Came out on a maxi
that
single.
Shit dropped. When that shit
that's
dropped,
why I said the only thing to me that's close to Dot's run, right? That's one of the greatest runs that September to that September. DMX's run, 50's run in 03.
I'd say 50 run.
Wayne's run in 08. Snoop's run from 93 of January, December 93 to December 92 when the Chronic came out to December 93 after Doggy Style came out. That's one of them runs too. And I still got Dot's 12-month run overall.
I got two for you. I got the I like Big Run from the time when the One More Chance shit went up until all the way through. You know what I'm saying?
That
up until right,
that was a mean 12.
Jay-Z might have one too. Might give it to him 98.
Not really. 98. DMX was cleaning the floor.
But 98. You mean?
I was like, Snoop used his charge the way Pac used his shooting. Like, it was such a massive thing at the moment at the VMAs when he came out and did Murder Was the Case when the police was outside.
God. Yeah,
serious? And they weren't outside on a bullshit charge. They was outside on a 2.
Nigga. I was like, holy shit. Even right now when I get like chills.
That was like Nirvana couldn't fuck with this.
That nigga popped up that bed looking crazy. I was like, ooh, look at this crazy.
Rolled out on a wheelchair or some shit and stood up.
Yeah, that Snoop shit. That Snoop run was crazy.
That little from the Chronic, from when G-Thang video happened.
Yeah.
Motherfucking when he popped
Doggy Style.
Boy, you couldn't go nowhere. JJ, I wouldn't consider, because 98 is DMX year, clearly, even though I think Jay was successful that year and he crossed over. DMX was like, you couldn't even.
I think because we was.
That's what.
Yeah,
you couldn't avoid that song.
Yeah, you
just
right
wanted to. He just topped Hov because he did the 2 albums in 1 year, so he topped Hov with that right there.
It wasn't just.
It was just. If we was done with one album,
Blood of My Blood or whatever.
He could put the 2 albums out, Blood of My Blood and Dark and Hell Is Hot.
Blood of My Blood only sold because of the first one.
Yeah, that's it though. That was it.
it was one
album. It was the show and all that shit.
It was gargantuan. It was one of the top probably 10 biggest single songs in hip hop history in 50 years.
Nigga popped up off that bed. I was like,
yeah, I remember them years. What was the other show?
I know those moments, bro. DMX, the first time niggas saw him in Rough Riders Anthem, you knew it was over. Jay was more of a gradual climb of great business and great moves. There was never a quite moment where I was like, he galvanized.
98 was his.
No, it wasn't.
That's why it was the Hard Knock Life tour, B. It was the Hard Knock Life tour.
That was marketing.
It could have really been hit. It was the second. The album that put DMX over the top.
No, that was just marketing. That was his third. No, because everybody felt like they thought somebody else should have headlined that tour.
That album went 4.
But that's not.
But that's the same. No. Okay, Blood of My Blood is like the Massacre by 50. You know what I mean?
But it came out in the same year, though. It just meant more.
It's not just the music success. It's what the character does to the world. Jay is like success at his smoothest. He's just success at his smoothest. He's always been smooth about success. Like, and like I always loved him from the first day. But it was never like polarizing. DMX was like polarizing. Like, I'll never forget the first. That nigga that had no socks on with no fucking Timbs on and a overall short.
Jay was never polarizing?
Who?
Never throughout his whole career?
Not really,
bro.
He
polarizing? Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Not
you know what he did? You know what he did?
What was he polarizing?
When he was in the NASCAR shit with Shorty, the Budweiser commercial, that was polarizing right there, B.
I don't even remember that.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
No.
That's when he was looking like a rich billionaire, B.
Yeah, but it wasn't polarizing.
It is. It's a different form of it.
It was still his brand.
Yeah.
Jay's always represented success.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was still his
brand. It's always been smooth.
That driving in that NASCAR when I was doing the Budweiser Super Bowl commercial.
When he brought Pam Anderson in the video.
That's what I'm telling you. This is what nigga he had.
And that's like level 2 polarizing.
He had the chick from NASCAR driving the car, B. While he in the car rapping.
Beyonce, that was the most polarizing thing he did.
The Beyonce shit polarizing.
That's real life, bro. That wasn't art.
Like, I don't
that is art.
Yeah, that was polarizing means. Or I'm not.
All right, so I'm telling you, it's the scene. It's the scene with what's the name? With Shorty.
No, NASCAR scene.
What song was it? The Show Me What You Got video.
That wasn't polarity.
That was polarizing right there.
Polarizing to who?
It was a Budweiser commercial, a Super Bowl commercial.
What was the other pole?
What?
What was the other pole?
Negative pole about it? Like, what gave it power?
Budweiser commercial, B.
That's all right. Compelling and polarizing.
On Super Bowl night, it was a Super Bowl commercial, B. All right. What you mean? Am I wrong? Okay. Jay never. You gonna tell me that Hard Knock Life video was polarizing?
My man, but I don't. I want to go. I want to like.
Maybe you
using the word in the
Hard
definition of the word.
I might be using the word wrong. Might be using the word wrong. What is the definition of polarizing?
I misread Otis. I'm sorry, Otis. Otis, I offer you my personal apology. I read it quickly, and that's on me. Sorry. I fucked that up.
Listen, I'm a diehard Jay fan. That just ain't his thing. He wasn't a polarizing type of act. Like, his polarity barely came the other day. Jay just always moved in this kind of real smooth, like you knew he was successful and niggas liked him. Nigga, DMX was growling. Nigga, DMX came and niggas was like, I remember looking like, what the fuck is going on? Why don't this nigga have no socks on with them Timbs?
And he had a bunch of people riding downstairs in quad.
All in the middle of the street.
So you gonna tell me the Hard Knock Life video wasn't polarizing?
DMX defined the street for them, really. When DMX came, the street then back there.
Hard Knock Life was just him showing what's going on. People playing basketball and shit.
Yeah, it was street though. When I seen DMX, I was like, them niggas is street back there.
Them niggas blocking the roads, cars behind them. They don't care about traffic.
Yeah.
I was like, what is up with the New York niggas right now?
Yeah, so they really made me look at them like street when I seen DMX.
Like, what is happening? Cuz
to me, Jay-Z is all about sales. He's not necessarily about
here's
polarizing and controversial are very closely tied. I don't see him being a controversy creating guy. That's just me.
It's not. And some people like DMX was naturally that. Remember, we had this conversation. Remember New York?
Cat Williams made fun of DMX barking.
That nigga was crazy. That nigga was like some shit I never saw.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, yo, bitch.
That nigga.
I was like, holy shit.
That nigga had no fear, no nothing.
Why is this nigga out here with no fucking socks on in them Timbs, bro? He wasn't even worried about bunions.
Your number one all you took, the number one thing you see. All right, this is where crop this. Glasses of Malone's the most hood rapper in the history of the genre because he watched all the DMX shit, and the first thing that came to his mind is, where's his socks? I could have watched that shit for 40 hours and not notice his fucking socks or lack thereof. That was the first thing stood out to you was socks.
I was like, you know how cold you got to be to wear Timbs with no socks?
You know how cold you got to be to worry about some other guy's socks?
He don't get it, Trap. He don't get it, Trap.
Yeah.
He don't get it, Trap.
Put
on some Timbs with no socks. I'm gonna order you some Timbs. Put them on with no socks and walk around. You'll see.
Tim's got the leather in the inside. You know what I'm saying? Got leather in the inside of the boot.
You don't understand the type of commitment.
I'm used to having bloody feet. I'm just saying, like, to
different.
watch all that imagery.
That's New York.
On the socks.
Listen, that's the one thing I remember. He had an overall short set on with no shirt and Timberlands with no socks. I was like, oh, this nigga the roughest nigga in the history of music. This nigga crazy. He growling and shit. What the fuck you want to do when we run up?
Like, this man will not see 55.
He has dog chains and shit.
Yeah, why is he wearing a chain?
Yeah, he has dog chains.
Niggas was wearing chains. No, this nigga was wearing a chain.
Yeah, he was wearing actual chains made of like compressed aluminum.
Yeah, he's wearing dog chain. He's wearing his dog chain.
Everybody else wearing gold chains. He said, no, give me a padlock and some aluminum.
I'm gonna have to show niggas how easily let me find out some more niggas that's running with your niggas. What the fuck? That we can't handle. Bring it up and dismantle. What is wrong with this nigga? Why is he, bruh? What is that? Is hip hop? That is that shit.
Yeah.
Like nigga,
no was right. That's
I think it was
the treasure.
Like, look at this nigga.
But then everybody behind him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what?
Yeah. Everybody behind him.
Hey,
like,
and it's so funny because New York, Puff had New York going shiny suit.
Yeah.
Mind you, this is Mace coming this year.
Mm-hmm.
Mace, so Puff had it. Jay-Z had just dropped Volume 1. It was hella smooth.
Yeah.
You know, Teddy Riley production. Shout out to Ted. And hella smooth. Like they was trying to go shiny and proficient. This nigga come out with no shirt under his overall short set and no socks and some Timbs. Like, nigga, I was like, holy shit.
And right after that, a bunch of like drug use accusations came out. We were all like, yep.
Why is this nigga wearing a bulletproof vest? I mean, you mean to tell me he got shot 9 times and he rapping about the nigga that got him shot 9 times? Oh, this nigga crazy. Oh, I remember thinking that's marketing.
Yeah.
I remember buying 50 Cent album the first day it came out. That motherfucker had a bullet hole in the glass on a cover. That's marketing. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, Tupac comes home after getting shot. He's in jail. He gets out of jail. He cussing everybody out, talking crazy. That is different. Snoop catch a murder case the week his album comes out.
That's crazy.
Niggas forgot it happened a week before his album came out.
Outside.
Niggas can't imagine that. The week his album came out, he kept him with an album with a song, an album called "Murder Was the Case."
Question: Was there some quid pro quo backdoor action going on? Say, hey, look, I know you got this evidence. I know you're gonna bring this charge. Can you at least bring it on Wednesday the 3rd?
Nah, they went down right there.
$50 million time frame there between Wednesday the 3rd and
this is what I'm trying to tell Trap.
Mm-hmm.
I can see my confidence comes when I see, oh, I get it. I'm in the space with them, Nick. I know what this. Oh shit. Go all the way. That nigga Pac went all the way. Pac went all the way. That nigga was like, man, I don't care if niggas think y'all. Nigga, I'm cussing you niggas out. You niggas play with me getting shot. Nigga, I'm finna. Yeah, nigga. Now who laughing? Well, I fucked your bitch. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you so upset? Niggas was like, man. And then you could see niggas, it was niggas at the lunch table. Shout out to the homies at the lunch table. Cause they like, well, you know, Big was in this building when it's like, nigga, that didn't have nothing to do with Big.
Yeah, that was some bullshit.
That was crazy.
But that's how good it is.
You know what I'm thinking about now?
Great marketing gets lost in reality.
The two most wild, like the two wildest mouths in the history of Bay Area hip hop, both got shot. Tupac and Mac Dre.
Yeah.
Both those guys, I mean, said whatever the living fuck to the max.
You can't, some of this shit you have to help line it up, but some of this shit you can't write. You just got to stick around long enough for that to happen. Like with Kendrick, like you have to stick around long enough for this shit to happen. Like Tupac, you have to stick around long enough for this shit to happen. Like Snoop, you had to. This nigga caught a murder case the week his album came out. It was on the news.
That's the best marketing promotion you could get, B. Don't get better than that right there, B. That's crazy.
Dude, that security guard in the Jeep Cherokee, you get a bonus out of that? I mean, he must have got paid $100,000 a year and made $5 million for the team.
Only thing that's close to that is 50. For real. That's the next thing.
This is why I compare dots to it, because of how you get there, how you become the conversation of the universe is different. It's always unique. Yeah. How it's that's the thing. Can you become the conversation of the universe? Right? Yeah. Like how you do it is different. Snoop's came from when he caught that. Michael Jackson became the conversation when his hair caught on fire.
Burnt his hair. Yeah, burnt his hair.
As he became a conversation, you'd be like, music. The Michael Jackson guy, the guy from the kids group, he has an album. Oh, I'm going to get that. He was selling $1 million a week, King. When his hair caught on fire. He did 2 or 3 million until Thriller came out. Thriller comes out the video. He does somewhere between 5 and 6 just off that alone. And then he's cool. And his hair catches on fire. Now he's on the news every week, everywhere. Motherfucker starts selling $1 million a week. Snoop did great. Right. Remember, Chronic came out. The Chronic wasn't this huge album at first, the first week. The album grew because the songs worked, right? G-Thang, Dre Day, Let Me Ride, Ghetto Boy, those songs worked well, right? And then it got big. Snoop was already anticipated, and then the nigga caught a murder case. The week of his album. 50 Cent, the way they did 50 Cent shit, 50 got shot 9 times. You would have thought it happened 2 days before the album came out.
Wow. That's all you heard about.
That's all I was like, man, that nigga got shot 9 times. The nigga that dissed all
put a bullet hole on his album cover, man. Okay, he kept it going.
He wearing a bulletproof vest.
Kept it going.
Hell yeah, he sold a fucking shitload of records the first week.
Yeah, he did.
And he got a good.
Yeah, they use that to make out the whole brand and stuff. And then
his whole brand.
Yeah.
Whole brand. That was crazy.
And
I never seen that before.
That's why I was looking at like numbers of like the massacre. Because like Flesh of My Flesh by DMX, that was just riding the wave and the coattails of the first album in the movement. And the massacre is the same with 50. There was not really anything that spectacular on it. I mean, it was all right, but it wasn't like the first one. To sell 1.8 million the first week, that's insane. That's just purely momentum.
And that's crazy because shout out to No Cuz. Remember, so when everybody bought it, right, you hear Murder Was the Case on the album.
Sure. And it was the main song. I mean, it was the hook of the main song, and the name of the album was all of it.
No, that was the second album.
That was the second one.
I'm talking about.
We released it with that.
It was actually on the original album. The week. So imagine you Catch This Murder Case, and then you pop an album, and you see this song called Murder Was a Case, and you listen, you're like, what the fuck?
Wait, hold on. Real quick, clarify information. He got the VMAs. There was that much lag time.
Hell yeah.
That was the Doggy Style release.
So remember the VMAs in 94. So Snoop.
The album came out 93.
So Snoop shit is like The Chronic in 92 of December. Doggy Style in November of 93. Murder Was the Case, I think, is in August of 94.
Yeah.
Dog Pound is in Halloween, of 95. And then Dogfather is in November of.
Yeah.
November.
But when you say he got the charge the week the album came out.
Doggy Style.
The
His debut
album. That was Doggy Style?
Yes.
Jeez.
So remember he made Murder Was a Case, an album that was a soundtrack. They went and made a movie after this nigga called a murder case called Murder Was the Case. Them niggas is crazy.
Yeah.
Niggas was pushing this shit.
Think about it. Think about what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I told y'all like a month ago, I said you have to almost be delusional because you're gonna have to do some shit that don't make sense, but it gotta be your way. The nigga catches a murder case. They decide to start pushing the song Murder Was the Case on the album. Then they make a fucking movie about Murder Was a Case. He's fighting a murder case.
Right. They didn't give a fuck.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, Murder didn't do that, and he got convicted.
It's crazy.
You can understand.
I'm post this thing up in the police, and I'm sure I'm going to post in all the police precincts.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking stupid. But that's why it's got to be that deep.
Yeah.
It got to be, bro. Not just the movie and the soundtrack, more to the album is insane. Nigga, he's actually fighting a murder charge.
During the same time.
I can't believe he didn't get held in contempt.
He's fighting a murder charge.
I mean, they put a what do you call it? A gag order on Trump. This guy did an album.
An album and a motherfucking movie.
I can't believe that he didn't get held in contempt. Too fucking funny.
Hey, that is crazy.
Yeah, Johnny, right? Yeah, Johnny on this case. I think he did.
Shout out to More Gear Facts. Now they were tied all together. All these pussy ass fans have been. That's funny. They'd be like, yeah, he told on himself. You heard the album. He sold his soul to him.
Yeah. He said he did it. What are you talking about? Look at the lyrics.
Song bragging about it.
It was he laundered the whole thing through the business. It's a RICO. Everybody was involved.
It's a RICO. He should get a RICO after that.
That's what, they only killed the guy so that they could increase the sales. Everybody's guilty. The producers are guilty. They produced the song. They produced the murder.
YouTube would be crazy.
They figured the whole shit out. They figured the whole shit out on YouTube. It's over.
Yep, they breaking it down. Yep. So they murdered this person so they could use this as a marketing. They planned it to be ready for the album release, and then they paid somebody.
Jazz Villager is guilty as accessory.
Yeah.
They have old videos, a little part of footage. They be like, "See, listen, all
he
facts."
Knew him.
Man. Yep, and
he already knew him.
To do it, he sacrificed Pac. He sacrificed Pac. That's what he did. You know, he set Pac up because they got into it in New York. Because when he said he wasn't beefing with anybody, and they came back on the airplane and nobody's fucking with him, he knew not to go to Vegas. That's what niggas would be doing.
Thing I've ever heard.
Because he would have been in that seat and not him. He sacrificed Pac to get where he's at. Niggas is lame, bro.
The funniest
niggas be coming up with some of the greatest strategies.
They're gonna clip that part right there and use it.
Ever was that
really was saying that
Suge had Pac set up or whatever for business purposes.
That shit is crazy.
I'm like, dude, really you had a guy who's half your size sitting in front of you in a shooting as that was the setup?
And gonna risk getting shot. Gonna risk getting shot.
That's the worst plan I ever fucking heard.
Just make sure you don't shoot me. Just graze me.
Niggas, these niggas be survived. Shout out to all of the legendary hip hop acts, man. Y'all survived some shit. If you still here, dog, I could not believe you crazy motherfucker.
None of those bullets went through and hit that man.
That's what I'm saying. It's still be in prison right now talking about niggas on the phone. Nigga, how you ain't changed your life?
Hey, you gotta see what works. Same thing got him there, made him $100 million, man. You gotta
but now you gotta just let it go. Fuck.
Give us $100 million back.
How are you? Nigga, they was like, so here's a death row marketing meeting. Yeah, he caught that murder case. Yeah, we got the best attorney. Yo, we need to really lean on this.
We got the best attorney and the best publicist.
Crap. We need to
hold on now. We gotta leave it. Next single out next week. You know we got to drop that single next week. Nah, push what's the name back. Push for Sizzle back. We dropping Murder Was the Case next week.
Later. Murder Was a Case. No, we're gonna shoot a movie. This nigga fighting a real murder.
It's over. That's crazy. Marketing.
Somebody said Suge is a giant target they were sharpshooters only. Bullshit. Bullshit.
What happened?
Kidding, man. He's kidding.
Mark, bullshit.
He's
They were
kidding, bro.
sharpshooters only to get popped. Bullshit, Mark. Bullshit. Hell no. Hell no.
He's joking.
Bullshit, Mark. Hey, bro, you gotta go with the flow because it's going crazy. Like, who the fuck was? And then when they told, if I'm Snoop, they told me like, so look, we gonna make a movie called Murder Was the Case.
What?
Nigga.
What?
He said Snoop bodyguard shot that guy for self-defense. Self-defense for what?
Can't run out the bushes.
A tax issue. He made everybody so damn much money. The only defense was suffering financial losses in a down economy.
True. And I'm
Snoop was gonna be
delusional.
crazy
That's how I
too.
know at this point. I gotta fucking be delusional. Cause this is what you do. You like, oh yeah, nah, the post office ain't enough. I'm putting them in the police office. I gotta tap in with somebody from the Fed so I can.
Crazy.
What the fuck? How did that even? I know you be on a different level when you finally get marketing. Cause it be like, nigga, the idea or nothing.
Yeah. That was crazy. That was crazy. He just did that just now, though. He did that just now with the Dirk album.
But see, they couldn't time it. Imagine it came out the week of. Now they trying to.
No, they was planning on coming out with it like right around the time when he first got locked. They pushed it back.
It's a different kind of commitment.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of commitment, dog.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of commitment, dog.
Then they claimed that one up, though.
And to make a movie called Murder Was a Case, where you make an album called Murder Was a Case while fighting a murder case.
Crazy.
Bro, that is your commitment to
all that was released. All that was released before the trial.
Yes, the trial ain't to
No, I know that. No, I know the song was. But what about the movie and the other album?
That's 94.
That's what I was asking a while back.
That's was going to trial with Snoop, and they was on it.
Yeah.
That's like,
bro,
dude,
like
you
know
with a song called K Rico.
Who?
You got to make a song now called K Rico.
Man, you ain't do all that shit. We doing some bullshit now.
Stay away from that, Rico.
Like, shit, man.
Stay away from that, Rico.
We just double down, just keep that. Them
like
niggas, the nigga caught a murder case. Like, you know what? Hey, we got that song. We need to make that movie.
Push that up. You think that ever would have came out never happened?
Hell no. Why would you shoot that song? Why? You don't even have nothing to market it. That was the marketing. That's how I feel about Pac. Pac saw, again, this is a belief. The other shit I'm telling y'all is what them niggas told me. This is a belief. Pac saw them niggas use when he got shot to market Murder Was a Case. Excuse me. Who shot you? Because they had that song done. You can hear that song got nothing to do with Pac. But they was like, perfect moment.
The crazy shit about it though was that
all the other shit Pac be talking about is shit he just had time to think about after being mad. You know how you get mad, King, and then you start thinking about everything somebody did to you, but it be that one thing that made you mad initially.
Yeah,
but then you be like, man, everything. That's what I think happened. Like he wasn't even tripping off them, and then he saw that song come out. He was like, niggas probably came to him like, man, you heard that Big song? Murder Was a Case? I mean, who shot you? Pac was like, what? He listening. Now he know damn well that ain't had nothing to do with him getting shot. He know exactly what he got shot about, even if nobody else know. He knew.
So is Pac like a natural marketer or something, or is it?
Hell yeah, I think he was. I think he always was
natural with it.
He knew.
He knew. We
figured it out
before. Pac was, how do you say, like the difference between like Pac and Snoop. Snoop was a brand without a plan, and he was a plan without a brand.
And then he got a brand. He was like, oh.
The brand he had at first wasn't working.
Because
the political hip hop shit.
Because he could make records, right? He could make good records. He knew how to Pac knew how to make records early on. Right? He knew it. He knew what to get. He figured it out. but Snoop was a brand. Snoop barely got a plan now. Like he's like, oh, I get to do.
Someone calls him and says, "Hey, we'll give you $10 million to be on the Corona commercial." He goes, "Okay, cuh."
Wow.
And then he goes for shizzle, and it's like corny as fuck. And they give him $10 million.
Me and Head asked that nigga right. We was up there like a month and a half ago, fucking with Cuz, right? So he was like, "Man, what made you say Cuz?" He's like, "Nigga, they asked for it." I was like, "I knew it." He laughed this shit. I told you, Trap.
They
like,
did.
They like, oh, we being edgy. Now the corporations think edge. Maybe they're gonna be mad. He said, "Cuz they niggas trying to go viral, bro." I'm telling you, Pac saw them niggas use Who Shot You. He was like, "Them bitch ass nigga, you motherfucker." And he up there by himself, album in jail. Got you niggas. Watch this.
You know what else it was too? Fucking, they just dropped Who Shot You too. It wasn't even on the album.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even to push the album. It dropped Lucy. It was a Lucy. Puff was on it like that. It was a Lucy. He said, "Yo, just put it out."
I was like,
"Gotta drop Who Shot You." Yeah,
hey,
time put Who Shot You out.
It is very much like that, bro. I swear to God, like as I'm preparing the marketing for this project, it's almost like it's take no prisoners. It's take no prisoners, bro. He was like, "Oh, you motherfuckers."
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what was the backstory on the issue where the dude got shot in the Snoop thing? Like, because I thought it was in Pasadena, right? Was it like a PDL?
It was at a park.
I know it was at a
Might have
park.
got little bushes or some shit like that, right? Some
But
shit
why?
Like, what was the word was? I don't know. I don't know enough about it. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I had to look into it. I don't really know. That shit was sad.
That's an undertold story that needs telling.
Remember, 50 was gonna do it. He was gonna do a thing about that. Him fighting that murder case, and then they backed up. But shit. Well, that's because it's supposed to be me doing it.
I don't even want to do the murder case. I want to do like, what was the name of that guy? Whoever the guy that
I remember the guy's name. Rest in peace to that brother. I forgot his name, but I remember seeing his name.
Yeah, so and so must die is a sequel story that needs to be told. Like, I don't mean to be as crass about the title because I don't know his name, but you know,
the hardest part about doing those things is when it's two street people. Then you don't really give the public a chance to stare in. There you go, Philip Watermillion.
Yes, that's right. Greer is a fucking machine.
He is. Philip Watermillion. Rest in peace.
Yes,
yeah, that was his name.
I remember that now.
Yeah, no, but see, like that stuff, like with the homie with NH and shit, that should be like real street shit. Like the general public don't have a like. I one thing I've realized as a storyteller, bro, is you got to give the public a viewpoint inside. You can't put them weirdly. Like I was arguing with Manny about this, and I was explaining to him, Boys in the Hood is a better story than Godfather. The Godfather is a better movie than Boys in the Hood, but the story is better of Boys in the Hood, right? I'm like, a lot of the Godfather is cinematography. You know what I mean? Callous violence. It's a lot of things.
No, Godfather's a better story.
No,
Godfather's a better story by far.
Like by such a huge margin, you can't even see the other sides of margin. Yeah, that was the most biased California shit
that is
ever.
Not even close, ever.
I've never. That was crazy.
That is not close.
No,
like, you know how I know it's not close? Because Mario Puzo had the #1 selling book in like the world, and that's why they made the movie.
I understand, but I'm not even disagreeing, but I think that's because white people like white violence and they think it's sophisticated.
No, it's 10 times more interesting.
It's better. It's much better.
It's 10 times more interesting.
Story-wise, much better.
No, it's not. People was more infatuated with white mafia. That's it.
No,
that wasn't a great story. What was the best part of the story? What was the Godfather about?
Is in the totality of the story is you have a dude that's like transcended from like one country to another, from like a gutter to being a multi-millionaire to having multi-regional pulls and multi-regional markets. It's a much more compelling story than something that happens in a 3-block radius.
Yeah, that's crazy. In a football game, football player, wait on it, and a dude getting a haircut.
White crime is.
Let me out the card, though.
Either white crime is more privileged. That's ridiculous.
Let me out the card, though.
More prolific.
The story is not great.
That
story's amazing. You bugging.
That's not even.
I'm like, you talking about Godfather 3? I don't know if it's better than Godfather 3.
I agree with Cap. Godfather 2 is a better story because the story is about Vito more than Michael. I agree.
Godfather 2 is a great story. Godfather
Even
2
the
is a soft
Godfather 1, the
biography.
story is just not really good. The movie is good. It's shot incredibly well. It's dialogue well. The acting is well. The story itself sucks fucking balls.
Like Pete said, it had to be a great story in order to get a movie. That was already a great movie.
We need to discuss this off because it's funny. I wrote a note about this thing and an idea I have for your first movie that is very similar in this regard that you're going to enjoy, but I can't unveil it live.
Okay, I'm gonna end it. Look,
this is going to be awesome.
Shout out to Cap. G is right. The first Godfather, no. Godfather 2, yes. The Godfather 2 is a much better story.
Its character development is building up to Godfather 2. What do you mean?
It's not as good of a movie as Godfather 1, but it's a much better story. The Godfather 1, it's really about, it's like Belly for white people. It's all cinematography. It's all really great acting.
No, it's not.
The story itself sucks.
Story is great, but its character development is building up to Godfather 2.
Now, the Godfather 2 is a much better story, but nowhere near the movie. The movie is about you seeing it, receiving it.
Listen, man. Stick with Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, Jews.
No, not Menace to Society.
Shit like that, bro.
I didn't say Menace to Society. I didn't say that.
You gotta stick with stuff like that.
That's right that you think Boys in the Hood and Menace is the same. I hate when you typecast our characters.
No, I mean it is though, really.
It's not.
It is. One
is a fatherhood movie. One is a story about boys that don't have a father and a boy that
it's about It was the same. It was the same movie, man.
It's not the same
movie. Yes, it is.
You just racist, bro.
It's the same culture. It's the same culture. It's just like same street urban culture representation. Like, come on.
Central. Which one would be the most
Boys in
realistic?
the Hood is pretty much how it go.
The most realistic one?
That one and
I might go with South Central.
South Central is probably a little bit cooler of a story, but it's not a better movie.
Yeah.
I'm talking about more realistic to what's really
Boys in the
going
Hood.
on.
Boys in the Hood is really realistic. Certain homies like got dads and certain homies that don't, and that's pretty much how it happens.
Okay. Nothing like Colors and all that stuff.
Colors is a police movie. I don't know enough about police.
That's what you got. That's what you got to put that against, though. You can put that against that. Put Boys in the Hood against Colors or some shit like that.
Keep the niggas down. Keep the niggas down with the niggas. Don't put them up with the white folks. Got it. No Phillies live, the lunch hour every Monday, Wednesday,
Can't hit this table. Can't hit this table.
Friday, right here at noon.
All my notes got brought up at the very end, dude. This is classic.
Good in the trap.
Digital soapbox. Click the thumbs up button. Let everybody know you're in the house. We do the No Ceilings podcast right here, Digital Soapbox. We do the No Ceilings podcast to support we do the stream to support the No Ceilings podcast. We got a fresh episode dropping tomorrow. Conversations about storytellers. It's really great. Y'all check in with that. You can listen to it on Apple Podcasts or iHeart Podcasts or anywhere else you get your podcast from. The No Ceilings podcast, executive produced by Charlemagne the God, the Black Effect Network, and podcast. Hold on. I forgot to read the super chats. My bad. Diamondback Photography. Thanks for the info. Thank you for the $5, my boy. Thanks for the info. I lived in the area in Casa Grande, but I always been a civilian. I just didn't hear about the Swans until I was older. I enjoyed the history lessons. My boy. Rest in peace to my homie.
Casa Grande is the Port Arthur of the West Coast.
It is. It is. Rest in peace to my boy Curse from Casa Grande. Solid dude. He was a blood too. Shout out to the homies. Good people out there. Shout out to Otis. Thank you for that $5. Shout out to my boy Beast, all my people out there in Casa Grande. Otis, thank you for the $5. Being polarizing and doing something polarizing or different things. Salute to the panel. We tried to tail trap that. Much love to the lunch.
Yeah, that was the thing that Otis said that I misread with I had a dyslexia just shut down and I totally fucked it up.
An hour and 40 minutes.
Still just
look who just popped on.
Yeah.
Oh, Sherry.
Me in for a thing at this one dealership, though. I'm just not leaving that motherfucker.
Damn. Okay.
You thought going to a car dealership was going to be quick? What are you fucking kidding me?
They talking to you.
What up, Stan? When you pulling up?
No one's ever made it out of a car dealership in less than 3 hours. It's impossible.
No.
You see you still.
Still not even looking.
Because
you don't even pop in.
We're trying to get you on the show.
This
I'm going. I'll call y'all back.
All right.
That's the best we get.
All right, we out here.
All right.